are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
What's happening, football fans? It is time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
With your host, Loud Esmond and Jeremy James. For the best takes in NFL and football betting, fantasy football, and the latest news, get ready to steer the line.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another segment of Steer the Line. I'm your host, once again, Christian Giordani. And today, I'm not alone anymore. I have my father right here, Rocky Giordani, and our favorite sports prognosticator, Mr. Loud Esmond. How are you guys doing today?
Good. We're good. Loud, I always knew you were a prognosticator. Just wasn't
sure. That and, for those of you in the high desert, it doesn't mean I like...
prognosticator?
Yeah, those of you in the high desert, it doesn't mean I like little boys. Just throwing that out there.
So we're officially over the hump on the season, past the halfway mark, and it's getting really interesting. A lot of teams that we did not expect to be in playoff contention are in playoff contention, and the guys who we thought would be juggernauts this season are just not playing as good as we thought. Yeah, they suck. The Raiders, the Rams, which breaks my heart. Cooper Kupp's going to be out for the remainder of the season.
The Packers,
the Bucks.
I said the Packers were going to stop.
I think we all agreed on that one.
The Bills are falling off.
Yeah, they're a wild card team. We'll get into that right now. But before we do, make sure everyone on KMET, if you want to continue the show past the 30-minute mark, check us on YouTube on STER The Line. But before we get ahead of ourselves, Mr. Loud Esmond, do you have any picks you want to get out of the way first?
Let me get a couple college picks out right now so that people can book these, because I got a couple really good ones. University of Connecticut Huskies. Everybody thinks of Connecticut as a basketball school, and they have kind of historically been crap in football. Last year, they lost every game but one. They were horrible. Fired the coach. They bring him a guy that you guys are going to be familiar with, Jim Mora Jr.
Yeah.
Coached at UCLA for a number of years. He's been out of coaching for a while. They bring him in. He brings an experienced staff. UConn is 9-2 against the spread on the season. 9-2. Pretty incredible. They just beat the brakes off of, I believe it was Purdue last week. They are playing Army. Army is having a terrible season. Army is like 4-6 against the spread, and UConn is getting 10.5 points at Army. Army, in its last two games, did not crack 10 points. And before that, they were blown out by 38 by Wake Forest, who is not that good this year. So this line makes no sense to me, but I'll take the gift. UConn plus 10.5 at Army. And then, boy, TCU came out of nowhere to be ranked number 4.
My boys.
The Horned Frogs, which, by the way, is actually a lizard, right, Christian?
I'm not confident if you're sure. I'm not confident.
You're not confident if I'm sure. So I'm sure you don't believe me.
Yeah. He knows that they're a horned frog, not a horned lizard.
Okay, so the horned frog is actually a lizard. It's not a frog.
Okay.
Right.
So just throwing it out there. You may get that trivia question someday.
Christian was going to play baseball at TCU. COVID hit.
Brings it up every time.
Didn't get to play a senior in high school or his first year in college, so TCU went out the window, and now he's doing radio. Breaks my heart.
Good looking enough.
TCU is 8-1 against the spread this season. Last week, again, Texas favored by 7 with TCU coming in. TCU smokes them. Yeah. And now they're playing Baylor, who isn't great. And TCU is only minus 2.5 at Baylor. That's my other college football lock. TCU minus 2.5 at Baylor. UConn plus 10.5 at Army. And then one that I haven't officially placed a bet on because I wanted to get, well, the Southern California perspective on this one. And you know which game I'm about to ask about.
No.
The little big game, USC UCLA.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
USC is -2. UCLA's been lighting up the scoreboard. Rocky, your thoughts on that game?
Listen, man, I can never take UCLA and any amount of points against USC. They just never get there. I mean, they do occasionally, but it's always a surprise to me.
Especially you being a USC alumni.
Yes. So I like USC.
You didn't go to college.
Oh, really? Well, thank you.
You're pulling your leg.
Actually, I went to 3 colleges. Hello.
Hello.
2 degrees in film and 1 in business.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. All right. We got all the college picks out?
Yeah, we got the college picks out of the way.
Okay.
I like your TCU pick, Lou. They have a very good history. They play Baylor very tough. It's in Baylor. Baylor plays them tough there, but I like TCU in that one. They're a good program. And
you know why? Also, everybody in college football wants TCU to lose because if they're undefeated, you cannot keep them out of the playoff. Can't.
Right.
So every week, the committee, the college poobahs are all like, oh, somebody's got to beat TCU, right? Somebody's going to beat TCU, right? And it keeps not happening. So, it's just sentimental for me, too. I love the contrarian plays. I'd love to see what happens if TCU goes undefeated. And especially because either Michigan or Ohio State is going to have another loss because they're going to have to play each other. Yeah. So that's inevitable. It's going to be fascinating. And then LSU is probably going to play Georgia for the championship there in the SEC. If LSU hangs a loss on Georgia, then what do? You got a 2-loss LSU, a 1-loss Georgia. Alabama's got 2 losses. TCU's undefeated. Ohio State has 2 losses. Michigan has 1 or 2 losses. It's crazy. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens. That's why I really hope TCU wins, and I hope LSU beats Georgia in the championship game because that would just be chaos. And I love chaos.
Chaos is the word of the day for me.
Chaos is the word of the day. No kidding.
Yeah. No, chaos is the word of the day and more likely word of the season because the Bills, who were expected to go undefeated this year, lost to the now 7-1 Vikings in arguably the game of the year. Any of you guys catch that game?
Now, what did I tell you about that game, Christian?
You said Minnesota was going to come out on top.
I tell you, Minnesota was going to win, and that was the biggest game of the week. And why? This game had enormous playoff ramifications. The Bills, who were the number 2 seed or number 1 seed, I told you these were the number 1 and 2 seeds in the respective conferences. The Bills are now the 3 seed in their own conference division and the 6 seed in the conference. They're a wild card team. 1 loss. Now this week, Lou, your green slime is playing the Patriots. If they win, they will be on top of that division.
But they won't. They
20
won't.
years.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
They won't. They won't.
I think it's 18 in a row. 18 in a row the Jets have dropped to New England.
Ooh. Yeah. New England beats them like a drum. But Tom Brady's gone. This is the first time the Jets have a chance to be.
Well, that's what 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I took the Jets to beat the Patriots, and the Patriots beat the brakes off them. That's when I jumped off the Jets bandwagon.
Did you see what happened?
Never bet on the green slime.
They will
Never
do it.
bet on the green slime. They will mess you up.
Stupid to lose that game. They got stupid to lose that game.
So let's talk about the Bills and the Vikings games then.
Yes.
This weekend. The Bills are going to play the Browns in Detroit.
Yeah.
What?
I wanted to ask you about that, actually.
They're in Buffalo. What are you
talking
about? Oh, because of the snow. They're moving.
Because of the snow.
Oh, no.
Because of the snow, they're now moving to Detroit. I wanted to ask Loud this specific question. How is this going to affect the betting odds in the game?
I want nothing to do with this game. Nothing.
This was going to be my pick of the week in Buffalo.
Now they're
Right.
in Detroit.
I was going to love this game in Buffalo.
6 feet of snow.
But
Dude.
the Bills, they're talking about some of the Bills players having to take snowmobiles to get to the airport
Yeah.
because there is no other transportation that will get them there.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 feet of snow there.
Okay.
And Cleveland was going to come in there in the inclement weather, and boy, that was going to make a huge difference. Now they're going to play indoors in Detroit.
And Cleveland has an easy trip from Cleveland to Detroit where there's no weather in either place, and it's chaos for the Bills. The Bills had to cancel practice today
Now,
and meet online, and a number of the players couldn't get in on the meeting because there's no power in their homes.
Right.
It's been chaos for all the Buffalo Bills players.
Now, wait, before we get off this affects the betting line. Now, Buffalo's only a 4.5-point favorite.
7.5.
Now they're going to
7.5.
Depends. Look at MGM. They're 4.5.
I'm looking at it right now. They're 7.5.
MGM.
I'm on Vegas Insider.
Well, Vegas Insider.
So now here's the thing.
7.5.
The lines have bounced all over the place on this game. This is a rare game where, depending on what sports book you go to, the line could be wildly different.
Right now, okay, so Christian, you're talking about DraftKings 7.5, Bet Online. Yeah, if you go to MGM or one of the actual sports books, it's 4.5 points.
Caesar has it, yeah. Caesar has it at 8.
At an actual sports book. Okay. Yeah. Now 4.5 points. This is still going to be my pick of the week at 4.5 points. I still like the Bills to crush them. Please ask me why.
Why?
Well, because they just came off a heartbreaking loss to a team that they
should have beat.
And I'm down by 14.
They have to run the table now. The Bills have to step up and play. I trust Josh Allen against a Cleveland team that hasn't been any good anyway. They've had a couple of bright moments.
And now you've got Deshaun Watson in the building.
He made practice, Mr. Rub went out.
And I think there might be a little chemistry weirdness there with that happening.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the other team that played in that game. The Vikings now
are
7-1, and they're underdogs to the Dallas Cowboys at home.
Now, ask me why Minnesota will win that game, Christian.
Why?
Well, because Justin Jefferson has become the greatest receiver in the league this year, and he just made the greatest one-handed catch of all time.
No, I wanted to bring that up so bad.
Because he had one hand on it. The defender had two hands on it. He pulled it away with one hand while falling to the ground, kept his arm under it.
I wish I had that clip.
Okay. Justin Jefferson dictates your coverage. Number one, Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook dictates what kind of defensive scheme you use. Dallas is going to have to go into a spread defense. When they go into spread defense, this is what's going to happen. Look for your boy Micah Parsons on Dallas to be halfway between he will now be the off-ball linebacker. He will be lined up between the center and the end on the left side of Dallas defense, which will give Minnesota two double teams, and then they will cut back, and you'll have a big guard going out hitting a 300-pounder on Micah Parsons every time they run the ball. You watch, and they're going to run the ball down Dallas's throat because there's no other way to defend them. There's no other way to defend them. You have to go all in on a spread defense. There's nothing else you can do.
So I know you want something to say.
I wanted to bet on this game, but I ran across a couple of stats that worried me, and I backed off on placing a bet.
Yeah.
And it's this. The red zone offense and defensive numbers are incredibly indicative in terms of wins, losses, and covering the spread. The Vikings offense scores a touchdown once they get in the red zone about 60% of the time. The Cowboys, 65%. So offensively, they're about equal. You know why? Both of them can run the ball.
Right.
Incredibly important to be able to run the ball in the red zone.
No, you called Paul. You said Pollard should be the number one running back over a month ago. Do you know why he did so well last week? That's the first time in his career in the NFL he got more than 10 touches. That's the first time he got more than 10 touches, and he went nuts. He went crazy. That's a
Yeah.
first time.
I can't believe he never had 10 touches.
Here's the thing that scared me off this game.
Yeah.
The Vikings defense allows the other team to score a touchdown in the red zone 72.5% of the time. That is one of the worst. The only team that is worse on red zone defense is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Now, remember, Christian, it's about matchups.
Yes.
When you go to 72% of giving up touchdowns, remember, that means some teams scored 100% on you in the red zone, and some teams scored 50% on you. Dallas is going to be on the lower half of that spectrum. They're not going to run the ball in every time. Now, they're going to have a good game.
The Dallas defense only allows teams to score a touchdown once they're in the red zone 52% of the time. Now, that doesn't sound like very much, but when you look at the rankings, Dallas is like 14 or 15, and the Vikings are the second worst red zone defense in the league. Yeah. That is the one stat. It's just, I went, boy, that worries me, and I backed off. I'm not saying it's hard. Right about the matchups, Rocky. It's just when I see a bad disparity in red zone offense or defense, I keep my wallet in my pocket.
You want to stay away from
that. I play defensive back, and I am if I'm the offensive coordinator for Minnesota, and I know anything about defense, my mouth is watering because I know Dallas is going to go into a spread defense. Otherwise, Justin Jefferson will be on a mid look all day long. They'll get the mid look on Justin Jefferson all day long.
Trayvon Diggs cannot hold Justin Jefferson.
Dalvin Cook is going to run the ball crazy.
I like Dalvin Cluck. That's what we're going to call him from now on. You know what? My next new chicken.
Dalvin Cook will have a great game.
Dalvin Cluck.
Pollard will have
a great game. New chicken.
Yeah, Dalvin Cluck.
Dalvin Cluck.
Oh,
I gotta wait. No, I gotta wait till I need a new rooster.
Dalvin Cluck.
Dalvin Cluck. When I get a new rooster and Roberto dies, Dalvin Cluck.
Justin Jefferson doesn't have to be a score.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring up this stat. Justin Jefferson is first in the NFL for touchdowns past the 40-yard mark.
Yeah, and who said he would be the greatest receiver in the league before the season?
Last year, it was the kid on the Bengals that was scoring all the long touchdowns.
Yeah,
and he ain't doing jack this year.
He's out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but still, that means he ain't doing jack. The most important ability is availability.
Also, he's also in a sophomore slump.
Justin Jefferson number one this year.
Justin Jefferson is hands down the best receiver in football.
Dude, there are some other stats. This guy's doing stuff that nobody else has ever done. But we can get into that when we have more time. Maybe
let's pick the Rams Saints game. I want to hear you two. I'm just gonna close my mic.
Okay.
I am not going to bet again. I am not going to take the Saints against the Rams. I don't have it in my heart. The Rams.
But I do want to talk about this. Cooper Kupp is going to be out for the remainder of the season due to an ankle surgery. This is the Rams kind of admitting they're throwing in the towel for this season and reshaping for next year. What this means?
Did he get hurt, Christian?
By a cheap shot.
By a cheap shot. Guy was out of bounds, no chance to catch the ball. Guy cut him below the knees. That guy should have been suspended, man. That jerk should be suspended.
Yeah. So what that means, OBJ is no longer going to the Rams. I lost my hopes on that. He's going to be a contender with a long-term contract. And that's all I have to say about this game. I'm not going to talk anymore about it.
Andy Dalton. 2 words.
Red Rocket.
Andy Dalton is still the quarterback for New Orleans. Yeah. The coach of the Saints is insane. But he sucked as the coach of the Raiders about 20 years ago. So now he's sucking as the coach of the Saints. Picks. Actual picks. My actual NFL picks.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the Raiders, they're not going to win another game this season. They are going to play the best red zone defense in the NFL. They have the worst red zone defense in the NFL. They have the second worst red zone offense in the NFL. It's all about the red zone for me tonight. Can you tell? Yeah. Denver is only -2.5. The Raiders, Derek Carr is talking about a lot of guys are not putting in the effort. Dude, that's a train wreck.
You see him crying on the stand?
It was awful.
That's terrible.
Well,
and you guys can't even fire your coach.
Can't afford to.
They can't afford to fire their coach.
They're so cash strapped. According to the beat writer for Las Vegas who covers the Raiders are so strapped for cash that if they fired McDaniels, which, I don't know, he should be McDonald's and maybe he'd serve McRibs or something. But anyway,
yeah.
If they fire him, they don't have enough money to hire another coach.
Well,
so Denver minus 2.5 over the Raiders.
Okay.
Rocky.
Okay, so you're once again bet against
Denver
the Raiders.
minus 2.5 over the Raiders, yes or no?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I took the Raiders last week and
stop it.
Yeah,
don't do that anymore. Bad idea.
I'm done for the breaking my heart.
You're with us, right?
Yeah,
Denver
I agree.
Minus 2.5.
I think this is the first time we've all agreed on a game.
Yeah, no, and besides, they match up well against the Raiders. It's about matchup. Denver does not match up well against a lot of teams, but they do match up well against the Raiders.
I'll tell you, it's the matchup of the two worst coaches.
Now, is that one of your picks of the week, Lou?
That is one of my official picks. Denver minus 2.5. Eagles at Colts.
Eagles
2 weeks ago, this line was at minus 10.5. When you can look ahead to the look ahead lines.
Yeah.
It's now Eagles minus 6.5.
7.
I got it at 6.5 earlier today.
I got it at 7 right now.
So some sharp money late is coming in on the Eagles. Why? The Colts are terrible. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders are a dumpster fire. So because the Eagles lost against the Commanders in a sloppy game, they turned the ball over, they missed on third downs, they were bad in the red zone. That's not typical of the Eagles. Yeah. So are we going to bet that the Eagles are who we thought they were? Or are we going to say they're the team that played against the Commanders? Are we going to say the Colts are who we thought they were? Or are we going to give them credit for beating one of the worst teams in the NFL historically?
Right.
I mean, the Raiders are historically bad this year. So the Eagles minus a touchdown against the Colts, I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll leave that one alone. Listen, Christian, quit looking at the first column, Christian. That is a consensus.
Looking at the second. I'm looking at the second.
Go to the third column and you'll get a Vegas betting line.
Still the same thing.
It'll be 4 points. Okay. Anyway, so look, I don't like the Eagles at all. Like I said in the beginning of the year, they're going to have a great season. All season I've said it because they haven't played a playoff team. They played 2 teams that were in the playoffs last year in the whole season. So they're going to have a great season, and then they're going to get bounced in the first game of the playoffs by a wild card team.
This isn't the first game of the playoffs, and the Colts aren't a playoff team.
Right. No, I'm just staying away from them. And by the way, the Colts played pretty good ball last week with Jeff Saturday and against the Raiders.
Jeff Sunday. He's now Jeff Sunday. But
yeah, man. All right, finally,
I'm gonna have to agree with Lou. I'm gonna have to agree with Loud.
All right, finally, let me throw this one out. I love the Lions at the beginning of the year. I've been very disappointed in them, but their defense is just terrible. Awful. Unbelievably bad. One of the surprise teams in the NFL this year, and the number 1 team against the spread in the NFL, the New York Giants. So, Giants are minus 3. This game is in the Meadowlands. The Lions having to come to them. Giants minus 3. I like this. I think you're looking at a game that ends 24-17, 28-24 max. The Giants are averaging 21 points a game. They'll do a touchdown better than that against this terrible Detroit team. And the Giants can play a little defense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to keep the ball. They're going to control the clock. And the Lions just don't have enough to match the Giants. Giants minus 3. Rocky.
Listen, I like the Giants. Yeah. I'm really happy to see the Lions being ankle biters and giving everybody a hard time. But the Giants are a much better team, and yeah, this shouldn't be a contest. I don't think the Giants have any problem covering this spread at all.
I think this is the first time we agreed for a while consecutively. Yeah, I agree with the Giants covering the spread and beating this game pretty easily. Saquon's gonna run for 100+ yards.
I'm gonna say Saquon goes for 150.
150.
150. And I think Jared Goff. Jared Goff is gonna.
1 minute.
If anybody sees anything in this game, Jared Goff will be checking down a lot.
Right. Daniel Jones.
My pick of the week is Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, my pick of the week. Period. Go.
Daniel Jones will have 3 or 4 first downs running.
Yeah, maybe. I also like the 49ers, and I like Minnesota.
We'll talk about that in the next half hour.
But before the half hour's over, my pick of the week, Minnesota 1.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, everyone.
Well, I hope you're right.
Boy, you got stones, baby. That's a big game. Baby. That's a good one. All right, I like Buffalo Bills. Bill likes Denver. Log likes Denver. Christian likes.
Before we get another word in, everyone at KMET 1490 AM, thank you for listening. If you want to listen to the second half hour of the show, make sure to go check us on YouTube at STER The Line on YouTube. That's Steer the Line.
And I guarantee it's going to be more interesting than whatever is coming up on KMET next.
Yes, sir.
I had Tennessee and couldn't pick them because the show's on Friday. They played on Thursday.
I did bet on them, and
good man. I told you, Chris, in Tennessee, we're going to beat them up.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's go.
And now we're on YouTube.
Hey, is Sean gone now?
Yes.
I want to mention something to Sean. I'll do it next week. By the way,
we'll do it next week.
Long gone, Sean.
Yeah, too bad.
We'll do it next week.
Loud.
All right, let me recap the bets.
Go.
So, college tomorrow, UConn plus 10.5 Army. TCU minus 2.5 Baylor. Those are Loud's college picks. USC, UCLA. Rockies got the Trojans fight on -2 against the Bruins of UCLA. And then NFL picks. We all agree Denver minus 2.5 is a lock against the Raiders. Denver's at home. The Lions at the Giants. Giants -3. We're split on the Eagles game, and I'm right. Eagles -6.5 over the hapless Colts. Jeff, Saturday will go from being Sunday to being not fun day when the Colts get blown out by the Eagles. And those are my 3 locks of the week in the NFL. Eagles -6.5, Denver -2.5, Giants -3. Okay, Christian, Vikings, Cowboys. You love the Vikings minus the points.
Yes.
So that is officially your pick of the week. The Vikings.
That is the official pick of the week for me. Vikings.
Oh, you got stones, baby. That's a big game, man. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Bring it on, baby.
I like
Bring it on.
My official pick of the week are the Buffalo Bills hosting, for some reason, in Detroit. They're still going to be the home team hosting the Cleveland Browns. The Buffalo Bills are going to beat somebody up, and it's too bad Cleveland's coming to town.
I wonder how those ticket sales are going to look like.
They're going to get pounded in an indoor climate-controlled stadium, which I really hate. I really wanted to see them play in Buffalo.
Me too.
You know what was great?
For a snow game.
You know what was great?
That would have been great.
Wednesday night, there was 2 MAC games, like Ball State versus Miami of Ohio, and the Chippewas of West Michigan against
something like that, right?
Akron, and both games were in massive snowstorms, and it was so fun to watch. At one point, this running back, he runs into the line. He's at like his own 30. He bounces off. I think he forgot where he was because he started running the wrong way and then like stopped and turned around and reversed field. And he went around the end. Everybody started falling down. And he scored like a 70-yard touchdown through like 1.5 foot high snowdrifts. It was so great. I love weather games. I love them.
I do too. I was waiting for a snow game. I'm so sad we're not going to get it this week.
Yeah, the NFL are a bunch of pussies now.
I would have loved. God,
You remember the Ice Bowl?
Yes.
When does
Rocky,
the NFL?
you remember the Ice Bowl?
The Ice Bowl. I would have loved to see another Ice Bowl. Since when does the NFL start playing inside? This is unheard of.
On turf field, where everyone is getting hurt now.
Snow, baby. That's Buffalo. We won the game in Buffalo. I was hoping, praying. Now, Christian.
Yes.
Your Minnesota Vikings, your pick of the week, of Minnesota Vikings against the Cowboys. Anybody who's listening right now and watches that game, I want you to watch for when it's short. Like first and long, second and long, not necessarily a passing down. They will line up in a spread defense. Micah Parsons will be halfway between the center and left end on the left side of Dallas's defense. They will give them a two double teams. The whole flow is going to go towards Micah Parsons. Then when Dalvin Cook cuts it back, Micah Parsons will try to pursue, and he'll get a left guard will hit him in the chest. This is what's going to happen, and Dalvin Cook is going to run crazy on that team.
Prediction the future, ladies and gents.
I like Minnesota in this game, unless Cooper Rush plays. By the way, Lou, you hit it. You've been right so many times, but man, as soon as Dak Prescott comes back, they went right back to trying to do too much.
Let's run 40 times a game.
But it's nature. You get your quarterback, you try to do too much.
Yeah.
That's why they lost that game against Green Bay. They kept trying to get that middle look with
This is a great time to bring this up. NFL scoring this year is down enormously.
Yeah, man.
4 to 6 points a game.
And who wins championships, Christian?
What?
QBR stats are down enormously. Passing per game is down. Now, when I say enormously, 20 or 30%. Now, when you look at it as yards, it's 35 or 40 yards a game. And the casual fan would go, so what? No. By percentage, that's huge. 4 points to 6 points when the score is normally about 40. That's almost 20%. That's almost a 20% swing in scoring, right, Rocky?
Yes, and that's why.
So what happened?
That's why this is so important, Christian. NFL, what wins championships?
Defense.
Yes, and defense is what this NFL 2002 season is all about. Scoring is down. Buffalo's going to come back. They have the best defense in the league. I believe that. They're going to crush Kansas City. This whole thing's going to go Buffalo's way, but they're going to have to play an extra game this year because
here's the problem. Buffalo can't run the ball. Buffalo can't run the ball.
They're subpar in running. I'm not going to go too far.
They can. Singletary's going to run the ball really well against Cleveland.
Okay, so let me just finish my diatribe here.
Go for it.
This became a passing league. Now teams are playing even first down with as many as 5 quarterbacks and safeties on the field. This is massively reducing the opportunity to connect on long pass plays. Pass plays, even 3 to 5 yards, are percentage-wise much less successful than running the ball to try to get 3 to 5 yards. So, I believe there is going to be a renaissance in the running game.
Yes.
In the NFL.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Big runs are back in the NFL. Okay.
Yeah.
Running efficiency is at an all-time high since can you guys take a guess on what year?
1998.
1987.
Wow.
Running efficiency is
because there's so many light safeties on the field, and there's a line and maybe one linebacker. And did you see Derrick Henry in that game?
I'm about to say, did you see Joe Mixon 2 weeks ago? 5 touchdowns.
Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass. He was having
Oh, yeah. First of all, Derrick Henry, first guy to get 1,000 yards this season.
So I think everything is cyclical, right? Except for bell bottoms. I'm hoping they never come back.
Oh, bell bottoms were the thing. They were the thing, man.
I look great in bell bottoms. I love them.
As Dennis Leary said, the only way to be a cooler guy was to buy bigger, longer bell bottoms because they were the only things in the stores. Anyway, I think the running game is going to have a 3 to 5 year thing. I think the running back is going to become really valuable again. I think teams running the ball is going to be at a premium. And here's the crazy thing. I think the day of the big quarterback is kind of over.
Yeah.
It's not working.
No.
You're getting it? Kirk Cousins, Trent Dilfer 2.0. Guy gets no respect. That game last week against Buffalo, he was throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson in some crazy spots. He was throwing him the ball in some crazy. He was throwing back shoulders into double coverage. Kirk Cousins.
So here's some things. Just
butt off last week.
Some things I want to point out. How excited are we about the play of Justin Herbert this year?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, he hasn't been.
No, this guy.
How about Joe Burrow?
Yeah, but Justin Herbert's still setting records. He just doesn't get a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Right, but Geno Smith is the number 4 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, I mean, it's crazy. And then look at this. Let me run down the number of teams that I think will be making quarterback changes or have questions at quarterback next year. Ravens, Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Raiders, Titans.
You said it. You said the Raiders.
Hang on. Giants, Saints, Rams, Packers, Lions, Bears, Panthers, Falcons, and even in Arizona, now there's a quarterback controversy because apparently the locker room likes Colt McCoy better than the water bug.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are 16 teams.
At the beginning of the year, when Josh signed that coaching contract, I told you that your boy Carr might be gone, and you jumped all over me. But now you think Carr.
No, I think you're right. But the problem is Carr has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
Right. Which he can waive.
And Devontae Adams came to Vegas to play with Carr. So I think the only way, you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I think the only way you get Carr out of town is Adams goes with him as a package. And you know where they go?
Tell me.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, why not? New Orleans. But they're probably going to end up in Tampa Bay. Or Garoppolo might end up in Tampa Bay. San Francisco gets a new quarterback. Yeah. Tampa Bay gets a new quarterback. I don't think the Rams get a new quarterback.
There's not that many good quarterbacks coming out in the draft. What do they do?
The Rams better get themselves a backup because they need to go let Matthew Stafford get his elbow fixed. Yeah. And they need a backup. Look, I told you at the beginning of the year, if he went down or had trouble, they weren't going to win.
Okay. No. So here's the question.
Go for it.
What we just talked about, the running game has to have a renaissance. There has been this habit of signing all these quarterbacks to these crazy contracts.
Easy.
Do you think they're regretting the Russell Wilson contract in Denver?
Or the Waterbug contract?
Yeah. No, of course. You're completely right. Russell Wilson has one of the worst contracts, along with Kyler Murray, Mr. Modern Warfare Murphy.
Do you think the 49ers are great about their leveraging their future to bring in Trey Lance?
What a stupid
Jordan Love.
They saved a lot of money with Garoppolo's restructure,
I think
though.
The Trey Lance experiment lasted 2 games, and I think they got the message really loud and clear. That was a big mistake.
So a lot of guys I think the quarterback position has been overrated over the past 5 to 7 years because the defenses have not caught up with the offenses, and now they have. I don't care how good your quarterback is. If they're dropping 5 people into coverage, You can't beat it with
Unless-
long throws.
Unless you're a little like Patrick Mahomes that can extend the play.
Oh my God,
And I
Mahomes.
keep going, somebody hit him. Somebody hit him.
Right, no.
He's the exception to the rule.
So
He's the exception to the
he
rule.
is like the exception to the rule, but it's crazy. Brady out. Rodgers sucks. Herbert, not that great. Derek Carr,
He set
dumpster
records
fire.
for
Lamar
the first
Jackson
years in the league.
started the season hot, but he's not great at throwing the ball. Joe Burrow, he's come back to earth. Where's the great quarterback play this year?
Yeah, it hasn't been the insane thing, but I do want to say one thing that might piss off Rocky.
What?
Patrick Mahomes is hands down, undebatably, the best quarterback in the league. Better than Josh Allen.
There's one reason why.
Tell me
Because
why.
of his tight end. He extends the play, and every time he does, his tight end reads his mind and gets open.
But how
His
does a
tight
guy
end
get
knows
better?
to work- His tight end knows to work into a soft spot in the defense. He never stops moving. That's why.
But
That's
it's
why
insane because you got guys like Tyreek Hill living him, and his numbers are even better. But I do want to talk about a lot of guys who are going to be gone and in different teams next year. Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady, all these guys are going to be on different teams next
Brady's
year.
going to be retired.
No, he's not.
No, he's going to go to the 49ers.
He already said he's not retiring. He said it
my
himself.
God.
He's
No
staying.
way.
He doesn't want.
He's not
Where's he
gonna
going to go to? He has
He's
nowhere to
like
go to.
Methuselah.
He said retirement's not in my future.
No, he's going to be a Raider.
Who was it Jackie Robinson that played way too long and was sort
No,
of
Jackie
a joke?
Robinson retired early.
No, who was it? Was Willie Mays? Who was it? I can't remember the player in baseball.
Everybody waited too long.
Oh,
No,
well,
there was a
I know.
player in
I know who you're
baseball.
talking about. Nolan Ryan. Jesus Christ.
And it just became a joke,
Played
right?
20
I mean, it was
years.
like they were shelling themselves.
We're still throwing. But different topic.
Yeah.
All right,
Tom Brady is not retiring from the league.
not retiring.
He's still playing at an efficient rate. I still think the Bucks have a lot in them. They're still in contention. I know they're not going to be a
Bucks
powerhouse.
should be fine now. Bucks should be
Yeah.
fine now.
Fine isn't the word I would use.
Brady
Fine
gets
isn't the word I would use. But they're going to be fighting for the rest of the season to get back in the playoffs. All they need is to make it
they're
to the
going to be
playoffs.
in the playoffs, Christian. They will win their division.
Should
They'll
the
be more
Seattle
forced.
Seahawks extend Geno Smith?
Yes. Not to a crazy contract, but get him on an extension now
And then
before he
he'll-
hits the market.
Then before he craps, then he'll crap the bed. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's gonna shit the bed sooner or later.
Once he gets paid. It's
Yeah.
hard.
I'm looking at this list and it's crazy how many teams need quarterbacks. It's almost half the league. And I watch a lot of college football. There is not a quarterback in college football right now that I go, that guy's a lock starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Bryce Young at Alabama,
I like Bryce Young. He's good.
oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he just win the Heisman?
Yeah, but how many? Okay, Tim Tebow won the Heisman.
Oh, Tim Tebow got screwed out of the NFL, and I don't want
Yes,
to
he
hear it.
did. I agree. There's a lot of Heisman winning quarterbacks that
Don't pan out. It's actually
in the
you
NFL.
actually have a worse chance
It's
of
an
being a good
inverse
quarterback. Yeah,
proposition.
it's true. It's a weird thing. You have a worse chance of being a good quarterback in the NFL if you win the Heisman in college.
Yeah. True
It's-
story.
It's the Heisman curse.
Vinny
That's what I'm
Testaverde.
going to call for it. But a lot of guys are going to be up for market next year and up for trade as quarterbacks. Perk 90 Cousins is not one of them.
No,
He's going to stay in Minnesota. And I'm going to say it now. You heard it here first. Minnesota Vikings win the Super Bowl.
Whoa. All right.
That's my bold take of the year.
Well,
Minnesota
you know what?
Vikings win the Super Bowl.
Wow. They just beat the other team that have to play. I still think the Bills are going to be in the Super Bowl. And they just beat them. But
I would
think
love to see that matchup.
I think the Bills beat them if they
oh,
play.
would that be the rematch?
I would love it.
Would that
would
be the
love-
rematch of all time?
That game was the craziest football game I've seen in decades.
And I said it last week. The winner of that game defines who's the best receiver in football. It was between Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson. Jefferson won that match.
My underdog,
off.
my dark horse AFC pick to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl because of everything that I've been saying. Defense, running game, game manager, quarterback, Tennessee Titans.
No.
Go, boy. Listen, I like him. I'm telling you, I like him. King Henry is back on top, man.
Hey, yo, King Henry, he's a dude. Don't get me wrong.
He is the dude.
Buffalo will have to come play Tennessee at home at this point.
Loud is saying
you don't like the Titans at home?
For everybody to hear, man. Look, the big quarterbacks aren't making a difference. It's the game managers, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, the guys who just don't go out and make mistakes. They just manage the game, keep the ball in their hands.
Rocky, what
they don't it up like Brady or Rodgers. They win games.
But who
wins the running game?
Yes, they have running games.
Tennessee has running games.
But timeout. Think back the past decade.
Kirk Cousins has a great running back.
Think the past decade. The guys who have won Super Bowls, all those quarterbacks. These are efficient, high-level quarterbacks.
And they all had a good running back helping them out. Remember when Tom Brady didn't get a break and he goes, man, it's so good to go and see Corey Dillon there and they won that Super Bowl? Yeah. They didn't have a running back that year.
Yeah, and what we've also been saying on the show is the era of the big quarterback who is throwing the ball all over the field. Look, the NFL ebbs and flows and changes.
Yeah, not necessary.
The passing game was ascendant. Now, defenses have gone, screw that. We're putting 5 quarterbacks and safeties on the field because you're not going to even run the ball on first down.
Yeah.
You're going to throw the ball. You're going to throw the ball. You're going to throw the ball. And we're just not going to let you, because what they understand is if they limit passes over 15 to 20 yards, the chance that you're going to complete 3 passes in a row in the NFL is about 35%. So they're going to let you move the ball. Yeah, that's what it is.
Also, turnovers are at an all-time high as well.
Intercepting because there's so many people back there.
And who's not turning over the ball?
Running backs.
The game managers, the Tannehills, the Cousins, they're not turning the ball over. All they do is control the ball. They don't light it up. And these guys are going to win.
No, you're right.
Captain Checkdown is now the quarterback that I want.
Yeah. Exactly.
The game manager, the Cooper Rushes of the league.
Yeah, give me Taylor Heineke for the Commanders.
I
think that kid deserves a 3-year extension.
He's been playing all right, but
when they had him last year, they were winning. And then they went and they got Carson Wentz and they were losing. They put Heineke back in and they're winning. Why? 3rd and 5, it all breaks down. He doesn't try to force the ball into coverage. He runs for 7 yards, gets out of bounds, and gets the first down. He's not trying to do too much, right, Rocky?
Yes. Christian, I have someone knocking at the door. I will leave the studio briefly.
Go ahead. But I'm sorry, Loud, what'd you say?
I'm going to get through some other picks. Ready?
Go ahead.
Panthers plus 13 against the Ravens. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't trust the Ravens to win by 2 touchdowns, and I don't trust the Panthers to keep it close. Yeah, so I want nothing to do with that game.
I agree. I'm staying away from it.
Bears at the Falcons. Bears plus 3. Where the hell has this Justin Fields come from, Christian? What the hell?
Justin Fields. He leads the league in forced fumble. I mean, he leads the league in fumbles, man.
I know, but he's scoring a lot of points. He's running a lot. Good for him. The Falcons are fading, but I still don't trust the Bears. That's where I would lean. Bengals -4 at the Steelers.
KJ Watt's back.
Right, and I think
like the Bengals.
It's a division game. That's why I didn't touch it, because it's weird. Division game stuff can be strange.
Yeah, it's a weird
and then 49ers -8 at Cardinals. I think I'm going to take some money from my bankroll that I'm going to win big on UConn versus Army, TCU, Baylor, Eagles beating the Colts, Denver beating the Raiders, Giants beating the Lions, and put it on 49ers, which will be 7, I believe, by the time that game kicks off, or 10. If it's 10, I'll take the Cardinals. If it's 7, I'll go with the 49ers. Rocky.
I will take the 49ers or leave it alone. If it goes to 10, I'm going to bet the Cardinals. I would leave it alone or take the 49ers even if it's double digits. My pick of the week, by the way, is still the Buffalo Bills. Why? They know they have to win this game, and they know they might get some help from New England beating the Jets. Will put the Buffalo Bills right back in the driver's seat in that division and back in the driver's seat in the seeding in the playoffs. If San Diego can beat, well, my aunt could grow testicles, she'd be my uncle. But if San Diego could beat Kansas City, this is going to change up a lot. Buffalo has to win this game. They've got a crappy Cleveland team coming to town. They're going to blow them up. I'm telling you, Buffalo's going to blow them up. This will be a double-digit win, easy. Buffalo Bills, my pick of the week. Other teams I like are San Francisco and Minnesota, but San Francisco I like a little more.
Okay.
I like San Francisco in that game too as well.
Most important question of the week, because we're not going to be on before Thanksgiving.
Oh! What? Wait.
Yeah, Thanksgiving this Thursday.
Thanksgiving Thursday.
Yeah. All right, I have a question. Well, do you guys want to do a Wednesday night YouTube only steer the line and talk about picks for Thanksgiving Thursday and Friday college?
How many games are this Thanksgiving? Like 5 or something, right?
Something like that.
4 NFL, 3 NFL, 2 college.
3 NFL.
I'll do whatever Christian does. He's the.
I gotta check my schedule. We'll work that later. We'll work that out later.
But my most important question, given that we may not talk until after Thanksgiving,
Friday, right?
Favorite weird side dish that your family serves?
Oh, weird or just
yeah,
good?
like different. Okay, stuffing, rice, mashed potatoes, all the normal stuff.
Candy yams.
Yams.
Everybody does candy yams. Come on.
But we do marshmallow yams.
Yeah, with marshmallows on it for my daughter. My daughter likes them.
We always did it like that.
You don't do tamales or anything interesting?
No. Hell no. It's Thanksgiving.
No.
My wife's from Costa Rica. They don't, not a tamale.
Trying to think. What do
black
we
beans and rice, maybe?
Black beans. I do like black beans.
Nope. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, yams, cranberry.
Sometimes we get a ham. Sometimes we
do a ham if Dad's don't like it.
All right, so
and I cook Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yeah, I do the turkey, and my wife does all the side dishes usually, except for the ones that I like. One of the things that we always had at Thanksgiving, because my family was Irish Catholic, and then one of my dad's sisters married an Italian guy. Franzoia was their last name. So Thanksgiving to me isn't complete without lasagna. Because my aunt, Nini, always brought 2 giant trays of lasagna and an antipasti plate. So my mom's making this traditional Thanksgiving dinner with the overcooked turkey. Oh my God, my mom was such a horrible cook. Eating her turkey was like punishment. It was so dry.
My mom was a bad cook. Just remember my
dad. But I spatchcock my turkey and grill it. Rocky, how do you do yours?
I just brine it and do it in the oven. Listen, by the way, what Lou was thankful for was his aunt's lasagna. They didn't have to use mom's turkey, right?
Quick, Lou, ask me how I do my turkey. Ask me how I do my turkey.
How you do your turkey?
Christian, how do you do your turkey?
I don't know, Dad. How do you do my turkey?
God, that's great.
We're doing 2 turkeys this year in the oven, no ham. We're doing 2 turkeys.
Hawaiian rolls at your house?
Yeah, we always do Hawaiian. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, you got to do the King's Hawaiian rolls.
Wait.
Now, you've got to try to make spicy cranberry sauce from scratch. Buy the cranberries in the bag. You pour a cup of sugar in the pot, dice up a couple of jalapenos, add them to the pot, boil it for about 5 minutes. The cranberries will start to break down.
We will try.
Mash them up with a potato masher, leave some chunks, put it in the fridge. Oh my God.
Lou.
The best damn cranberry
And
sauce.
I'm going to give you one now. I'm going to try it. Save your Hawaiian rolls. The next day, make Hawaiian roll French bread. It's a different recipe, and you do them like this on each side. The Hawaiian rolls. They're the best damn French toast breakfast ever.
Oh, gotta try that. And my family's favorite thing that I make the couple days after Thanksgiving, I strip the turkey of all the extra meat, the carcass, and I make turkey enchiladas, and they love them.
Okay. You know what? I just thought of one. Italian sausages. We do Italian sausages.
Yes, we do. Oh, that's right.
You do like sausage?
I do ribs. I do Italian sausages. You're right. Side dish. Italian sausages and ribs. I do barbecued ribs and Italian sausages.
Oh, well, there you go. For God's sake, could you not say that the first time?
I forgot. After the turkey, we do the sausages, then we do the ribs like about an hour
I don't
later.
remember Thanksgiving night because I'm in a food coma the entire time.
Do you eat in the afternoon or the evening?
Evening.
Late afternoon.
Which is what, like 4?
6.
Mom likes to eat around 3, 4, but we're still ready by 4.
I normally get all the food on the table by like 2 in the afternoon, and then everybody just grazes
and then
all day.
Eat all day long, man. Yeah, we do.
We don't do the formal everybody get together at the table. We're like, hey, it's all out there. Everybody eat. We watch football. We hang out. It's a good time.
No, Thanksgiving for us is we sit down.
Wait. So are we doing? Are we doing? We won't see each other till after Thanksgiving. That's right.
Well, you got to talk to your son and figure it out.
We'll figure that out because I don't know my schedule.
I'm on for a Wednesday show, but I will see you guys next Friday. Christian's pick is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, one more game I do want to put in: Kansas City versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I like the Chargers 5.5 point underdog.
They're getting all their receivers back.
Chargers cover at home.
I completely agree. I love the Chargers in this game.
Home, they might win that game. I like them.
Love you
and
guys.
That's going to help Buffalo. And Buffalo's going to roll, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Figure it out.
I will figure
everybody.
it out. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Steer the Line.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Watch football. Spend time with your family. Eat some turkey. Have the family football game outside. If you guys, that's your tradition.
We will see
you Wednesday. Happy Thanksgiving. We will either see you Wednesday or Friday. We will make sure you guys know.
Friday for sure.
But we don't see you until Friday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.